Color Guard, dismissed. Would now like to ask you all to please welcome uh, Carl Obijan from the Boston EMS and our own Alan McKinnon with a few words.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting Boston EMS to participate in this today. I'm joined by two EMTs from my service, Cal Obijan, and U.S. Army veteran, as well as James Mellon, EMT James Mellon, who's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and they're both West Roxbury residents. They were very happy to be here today.
Hold it closer.
Oh, sorry. They were very happy, and I'm honored to join them today. They represent just a small number of the U.S. veterans who now serve our city in public safety in the different departments. And I just want to personally thank all of them, as well as all the veterans today. For me, when we asked about what does the flag mean to me, and especially looking at both these flags, the POW MIA one, as long as Old Glory, it's comfort. I was born 9 years after my mother's brother, my uncle, was killed in World War II. I was, and she named me after him. He was a 20-year-old navigator on a B-24 on a bombing mission over Austria. They were shot down over Hungary. The crew was in fact captured. They were listed as prisoners briefly, and they were summarily executed, buried in an unmarked grave somewhere over in Hungary. When you have the opportunity to visit a U.S. cemetery overseas, as one of our earlier speakers spoke to in Manila, you probably see our flag waving. You look out, you see all the headstones, and as pretty and peaceful as it is. You also notice there's a thing called the Tablet of the Missing in all these cemeteries, where there's more people listed missing in action in most of these cemeteries than there are actually folks interned there. That was striking to me. So when I look, and I did have the opportunity to visit a couple of cemeteries over there, and when you look up at the flag there, you realize that our flag isn't hanging as a sign of conquest because we own this plot of land. No, we have a right to some portion of that land because so many of our veterans are interned over there. So, that's what it means to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Like the scouts, I need a few notes. There, they won't. All right. I'm happy to see everybody that came today. I just want to say I love my freedoms, and I'd like to thank all the veterans, today and every day for the freedoms that I have. The Scouts have about 20,000 small flags to retire after lunch. I hope they're up for it. These flags are placed on veterans' graves in local cemeteries for Memorial Day. And I started working here about 22 years ago. I was in my early 20s, and I used to dread Memorial Day because we had to work extra hard to get the cemetery ready for all the visitors. And I was on salary, so it wasn't any overtime for me. About 2 weeks before Memorial Day, a bunch of old guys, and take that, a bunch of old guys used to come around sticking flags in the ground beside all these monuments that I had to string trim around. And, I don't know if didn't they know how much work they were making for me? I didn't get it. I was thinking more of myself than others. But over the years, I started helping them to find the graves and working with them. And, these guys became my friends. And friends like, I'll never forget, Joe Broderick, Larry Steer, Gene Tinnery, and Vinnie Gustafson, just a few of my friends that I met along the way. I started showing them and the flags the respect that they deserved. And I viewed placing flags on Memorial Day as a privilege. In June, after Father's Day, we pick up all the flags in the cemetery. This time the flags are a little weathered. Sometimes the wooden stock gets a little warped and the flag starts touching the ground. So we pick them up. and we store them in a dry place out of the elements. And we used to retire these flags in June by burning them. You know, we'd break up some sticks, cut up some pallets of wood, probably a half a gallon of gas too. Don't try that at home. We're professionals. And no accelerants for these guys here, the scouts. But since the smoke could be seen out on the parkway, someone would call the police. That happened a couple of times. Police, and then they would call the fire, and the fire trucks would come. So I figured, you know, why not wait until winter, right? Big snowstorm. You know, nobody'd see the smoke then. So that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. You know, many cemeteries, businesses, and people who fly the American flag have limited ways to retire the torn and tattered flags. And I believe that this annual ceremony is the most dignified and respectable way that our community can retire the American flag. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming today. It shows that you care, and you really care.
Honor guard, attention. Honor guard, approach the fire. Honor guard, retire the colors. Let red stand for courage and sacrifices made by the men and women who serve and protect our freedoms. Let white stand for purity, innocence, and liberty that we all fight for. Let blue stand for the sky above us, under which we all must live together. Please join us for a few moments of silence to reflect on what this day means to each of us. Please welcome members of Girl Scout Troops 75075, 74525, and 79889, who will present thank you gifts to Boston Police, Boston Fire, Boston EMS, and Alan McKinnon.
At this time, we would like to ask West Roxbury VFW Post 2902, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, to raise two new flags on our flagpoles.
Color guard post. Color guard prepare to raise the colors. Color guard raise the colors. Color guard dismissed. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice to all. In addition to the 5 flags we have retired, We have collected thousands of flags from local cemeteries, as well as countless individuals and organizations who have given us their old and worn-out flags. These flags will be retired by scouts from our area scout troops throughout the rest of the afternoon.
Please join me in singing of the national anthem, please.
That was wonderful. Did you enjoy that as much as we all did up here? That was really, really nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
This is a very important ceremony because flags do tend to get weathered with age, and people are very, I myself included, are very reserved about how you want to get rid of a flag, and it's to be done with dignity, with respect, and it's my hats off to Alan McKinnon for organizing this event and for making it people able to do so in a respectful manner to get rid of the flags.
It was a great, huge event for the community. It's kind of surprising that there hasn't been one before, but I think it's a great educational opportunity where they incorporated the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts from the area. I was here with my 6-year-old daughter who learned that the proper way to dispose of an American flag, which I think past generations learned pretty young, and I don't know if it's as taught to them this day and age. So it was a great opportunity for the children to learn and for the seniors to see it happening as well, and a revitalization of patriotism here.
Alan McKinnon is doing a great job in recognizing veterans, current and past and future. I think this is an outstanding thing, and it does make those who have not served think a little bit more about what has gone on in their lifetimes, and I just think it's a great thing. There should be more of this across the country.
Oh, I think it just pulls us together because there was such a need in our community people have these flags in their basements and their attics all over, and just they don't know what to do with them, and they're tattered and torn, and some of them are very sentimental. You know, they were draping over a casket, or they were flown at the house or wherever, but they don't want to throw them in the trash, and that's the wrong thing to do anyway. So I thought that the cemeteries in our community, since I'm a cemeterian, I just felt that we needed to have some way that we could come together on a ceremony. So I talked to the Boston City Cemetery at Mount Hope, a new director, Tom Sullivan, and I said, Tom, you have some flags that we can have? Because I had 6,000 of my own. And so he gave me 12,000, and together we just pulled them together, and I talked to a couple other cemeteries, and that was my first intention, was to help the other cemeteries to retire their flags in a dignified, respectable manner. Not that they didn't have programs themselves, because some of them did, but for us that we're just burning, like I said, burning in a barrel in a snowstorm, so nobody would call the police on us because all the smoke. That was I think this is, like I said, a more dignified, respectable way to retire the flag in our community.
Thank you. It really was. It was just amazing. And I was just talking with people how tremendous it was to get all these generations involved with this, because these will be the children's memories, and they'll remember this when they get older. And this is what we should be doing, getting people early on understanding about how important this country is and our flag.
I was feeling like I am retiring a flag that was once flown for a long time, and I should be honoring this flag while I'm cutting it.
I'm happy to see a large crowd. I'm happy to see, especially the young kids, the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts. That means a lot to me also, because it shows that they respect, what has happened in the past. Because if you don't remember what happened in the past, you're in trouble about the future. So I feel good about them. I think they'll grow up to be good citizens and carry on from where our generation was.
I think it means a great deal as far as showing respect for your country. It gives me great pleasure to see that there's children out here that are doing that. When you hear a lot of bad things in the world about how youth have gone awry and how they've gone away from these values that we hold so dearly, that many people have given their lives and given their time so that we can come out and enjoy such freedoms. And these children that come out here and give their time, and the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, I'm very happy to know that there's still someone that's going to take the torch when I go away.
Hopefully they'll grow up and change uniforms into that of the United States services. It's an incredible learning opportunity for these kids, and I just applaud all of it. It's tremendous.
It is. I'm the president of the board of Ethos, and it's a true honor to be working with these great people. And yes, Bridget Boyle and Janice Williams were just amazing, getting volunteers here, getting the word out to our veterans that generally would have been at a luncheon today sponsored by Ethos. And they very nicely said, why don't we all work together? And just getting the seniors out, which is great.
Well, you hear so many things about people protesting, burning the flag illegally and whatever, but this is a great way of the tattered flags being retired properly. So not only the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, we had the EMTs here, we had the Boston Fire Department and the Boston Police Department, as well as the whole community showed up this morning.
It was very touching to me because I lost a lot of friends in Korea. We were stationed in Guam at first, and when the war broke out, they shipped us all over to Korea. And I lost about 5 or 6 friends. Then every Veterans Day, it brings back memories of my friends. And I light candles for them in the church, and I try to attend all the patriotic events. Absolutely, tears came to my eyes, especially when they played taps, and tears came to my eyes when the Boy Scouts put the flags in, and I brought a flag too, and I put it in. My flag flew over the White House for 1 hour or whatever, and it's just a great feeling.